Do we want to do a little intro real quick?
Sure. Intro to what? Our jokes or
No, this
children?
the one about the kids. We don't have to do like an in-depth one. We can just talk
You
about
know
the kids.
what's funny? Okay, besides, I know we're supposed to be talking about the kids, but I was thinking this morning, there was this guy in front of me. This is when I was on my way to the courthouse. I had just left the gym. There was this guy in front of me. Somebody was trying to go in front of him, and we were in the turning lane to go left. And there's a little section where somebody could go and from the opposite way and turn left. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yes.
So we had to wait for this guy. He couldn't get through. The guy in front of me was so angry. He was just throwing up his hands and he's like honking his horn. And it's like, this guy, he couldn't go. Like,
Yeah.
you throwing your hands up, you being so angry at this guy
Yeah.
because he can't go anywhere. What is that doing for
I know.
you?
It's accomplishing nothing.
What is it like? What do you get out of acting that way
Yeah.
towards another human being? It's like
Exactly.
this. I don't understand it.
No.
Now, when a woman, acts that way, I sometimes understand just
Yeah.
because I've been hormonal before, but
Yeah.
I've never honked my horn. Have you ever honked your horn at people?
Only if they're getting in my lane and I'm about to hit me, then I
Yeah.
will.
Like emergency, right?
Yeah.
But not
Yeah.
out of anger.
No.
Like
No.
I've never done it out of anger.
I Yeah, I will get frustrated at people. Like if they pull out in front of me and go like 10 miles an hour and there's no one behind me, that
Yeah.
frustrates me. But I don't like retaliate or anything.
I won't honk
I'm
the
just like,
horn.
what are you doing? That's
I
about the
remember
extent of what I do.
I know this isn't like the subject we're supposed to
Oh,
be
that's
talking about,
okay.
but I was just thinking about like just how angry people are and how
Mhm.
things like that just people get so frustrated
Yeah.
instead of just relax. It's
Yeah.
really nothing to get upset about. But obviously they're hurting and they're mad about something else. And then, that little thing, just like when we were talking about, when we're in a bad mood and our something gets caught on a
Oh, yeah.
doorknob or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but I also like calm down. I
Yeah.
mean, chill
And
out. But
most of the time, it's going to cost you like 3 seconds of your life,
mm,
right? Or less than a minute. I mean, it's not
well,
worth.
for however long you're mad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, of course, but I mean like them inconveniencing you
yeah.
will only it's only like a 3-second inconvenience, you know? It's
I
not.
think it's funny when people go around you real
And
fast
then
and
they're
then have to
stopped at the
stop
red
at
light.
the stoplight.
Yep.
I'm like, "Oh, where are you
I
going?
know. I know
You
I
got
can't
there
help
pretty
it. I
quick."
can't help it just smile about stuff like that. It's like,
Oh
was it
goodness.
worth it?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I know. I think they're just suffering from a lack of peace in their life, and it just comes out in everything. Everything is a frustration to them. There's no joy, no peace there. So,
I think it's sad to watch, and I feel like that's the difference between me and a lot of people. Like I said, I do have my frustrating days, but for the most part, none of that stuff has ever really bothered me. Like road
yeah.
rage, I
Oh yeah, mm,
I would feel uncomfortable. Like I have had road rage once.
yeah.
Yeah. One time. And I asked a girl if she was on her period because she was like honking at me behind me and she was riding. You know how they get really close to you?
Yeah.
But I remember going around her and it made me like thinking about it now makes me uncomfortable for even being this way. But literally, this was like day before period. I was
Ah,
like so hormonal. I was going through all kinds of crap with the first husband. It was just
mhm.
a bad day. But I
Yeah.
remember that feeling, and I don't like it. It
Yeah,
makes
I don't
I
either.
I never want to do that ever again, and I haven't. This is like 13 years ago.
Yeah, it's
The
like that
one time I
anger.
had road rage.
Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like it.
I've never like, you know, reacted to anybody personally. Like I just, you know, I get upset, like I said, if they do stupid stuff because they're not only endangering me and my children, but themselves and just everyone around them for what? Like that's what makes me upset, you
Hmm.
know. And like most of the time, like I said, there's no one behind me. They could have waited
Yeah.
or, you know,
It's just the world is so impatient
yeah.
and quick to anger. Like
Hmm.
I just don't understand why you get so mad so
Yeah,
easy. Like why? I
exactly.
don't understand it.
Yeah, just like I said, a lack of peace in their heart.
Hmm.
That's what causes us to trigger. There was this demonstration that Priscilla Shire did a long time ago that I read in a book, and I actually did this demonstration in our young adult class. I don't know if you were there for this, but basically she had a cup of water in her hand. It was a cup with water in
Mhm.
it, and she had like her husband shake her hand to see how much of the water she could keep in. Could she keep it still without spilling any water out? And
Mhm.
basically, that's impossible to do. Like when you're being shaken up with, something in your glass, it's going to spill out. And that was like an illustration of how, we can harbor all of this anger and stuff in our hearts, but the minute we can hide it pretty
Yeah.
easily, right? But the minute we get shaken up like that through a circumstance, all
Yeah.
that stuff's going to come spilling out of us. We cannot contain it. And that's why it's important to, constantly, make sure that your heart clear of that kind of stuff, bitterness,
Yeah.
anger, etc. And life sucks sometimes, and it's
Oh
natural to
yeah.
feel angry or bitter or resentment towards things. I mean, that's a natural thing, but we don't have to dwell on it, right? We don't
Yeah.
have to like keep it in because it will come spilling out. And I think that's mainly what causes those people to react that way is they have all that bottled up anger, like they just don't like their life, there's no peace there, and so when somebody pulls out in front of them, it's just boom, explode. So
Yeah, but what sucks about that, you can change it.
yeah, you can. Of course you can.
Like people don't, and if you can't change it, just change the way you think about things.
Yeah,
Um,
pray about it.
10 years in a really bad marriage.
Mhm.
I had to like shift my way of thinking
Yeah,
so much, you know.
yeah,
Eh, yeah, there's a lot. But the whole holding things in and
mhm,
being bottled, oh, I get it.
yeah, yeah.
And then when you're
Because
not, when you're with someone that constantly pushes
your
and
buttons. Oh,
constantly,
I know.
purposely too, to get a reaction out of you. I'm pretty much normally just a pretty chill person. I like to laugh. You know this.
Yes, yes, same
There
here.
are a lot of people in this world that don't like that about me. And
Really.
I was married to someone that just did not like that because I have a positive outlook on life.
Mhm.
He had a negative outlook on life.
Yeah,
And it was just the worst mix because, and I tried so hard to help. You can't help people. It's like nearly impossible.
yeah, yeah.
It is nearly impossible. So
Right.
it was just
Misery.
constant.
They say
Oh, yeah.
misery loves company, right? And
Mhm.
so when they see you're happy and joyful, they hate it.
Oh, yeah.
you
And he
know?
tried to bring me down constantly. And he did. He succeeded here and there, but for the most part, no. And I
Mhm.
think that's what he hated about me. I
Yeah,
literally felt like he hated me.
yeah.
I was married to a man that hated me. That
Oh,
is what my life was like for 10 years.
God.
But I
Yeah.
didn't let it make me angry. I didn't let it
Yeah.
make me bitter. I didn't.
Mm,
So I, I don't know.
yeah.
When people allow that bitterness to take over, I don't understand it,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
because I've been through some stuff that would
Yeah.
make any person bitter and
Of
angry.
course.
And
It's a choice.
exactly.
It's a choice.
Uh,
And like I said, it's a natural thing to feel those things, but you don't have to
mm,
let it linger,
yeah, you don't have to let it stay there and you don't have
Yeah.
to, yeah. But a
Yeah.
lot of people do. It's like,
Yeah. So what would you
why
say to
though?
them? Like, what is the solution for those people who may be struggling with that? Like, what helps you
What
to
helps
let it
me is
go?
finding things to laugh about and praying.
Yeah.
Those two things,
Yeah.
and just finding anything that makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
You,
Yeah. There's
you
too much
know,
in this world. I mean,
there's so
no, the
much to be
world
happy about.
isn't meant to
Just,
like fill all of our voids in life, but God has blessed us with a lot of things that can bring joy to us.
exactly. Look around you.
Mhm.
Look at the sky. The sky is my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of my favorite things to just look in awe at the sky.
Yeah. The
And then
sunset.
I'll see birds.
Oh,
And I know
birds.
you
Yeah.
love birds. You love
Yes.
seeing, every time I see a group of birds, we
Oh.
actually, Alex and I were outside playing basketball the other day. And then there was this flock,
Hmm.
hundreds and
Oh, that's
hundreds. They
awesome.
just kept flying
I
by.
know.
Obviously, they're like,
Migrating.
going south for the summer or whatever, or
Winter.
winter.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just so amazing seeing stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. Like
Yeah.
just little things like that. But they're really not little things. They're actually big things.
Yeah.
But
And like God orchestrated it for you to
Mhm.
see that at that moment so that
I
bring you a
truly
little joy.
believe that. I
I
truly
do
believe
too.
that.
You know that. You know I believe
Butterflies.
it. Yeah.
Butterflies. I'll see, like, if I'm feeling low
Mhm.
or just like feeling like in a little bit of a funk,
Mhm.
I'll go outside and just look around, and something will always happen that cheers me up. Like a butterfly will come over and just like gracefully float in front of my face. And I'm like, oh, that's just so pretty, just.
And God knows exactly what moves us. And I do believe when we are looking and we take time to get away from whatever it is that's stressing us out or frustrating us, we take that time to remove ourselves from it. He will. He will bring stuff like that into our view so that we
Yep.
can just breathe and
Yep.
enjoy, you know.
As a lot of people forget to breathe.
Hmm. Yeah,
If you
this
breathe
world.
differently, it could change your whole life.
Yeah,
Like, just breathe.
yes. Relax.
It's really not that big of a deal.
Let go
It
of the
really
tension.
isn't. And money is what frustrates a lot of people too. The lack of,
Right.
um, the stress,
Yeah. Mm.
that life,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everything's so expensive. And I get that. I'm lucky I haven't had to worry,
Mhm.
but it's because I haven't worried. You know what I mean?
God's just
I've
taking
been without. I've definitely been without. We've been so broke like it's hard to afford food, but
Yeah.
I still smiled, and
Yeah.
things would always like stuff would just keep happening. We're
Hmm.
always taken care of.
Yes. Yes. Because God
Always.
takes care of his own, you
It's
know?
insane how that works though.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah.
think
When
it's great.
we like take matters out of our own hands and out of our own control and we say, okay, God, you got to come through for me, Lord. He
Help
does.
me.
But
Help me.
but the longer we hold on and the longer we try to carry those burdens, he
Hmm.
lets us do that.
Yep.
He lets us do that because it's going to eventually make us so weak and at rock bottom that we have nowhere else to go except to him, you know. And we could
It
avoid that.
works.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does work, but we could also avoid that if we just realize at the moment, okay, this is too big for me. Okay,
Hmm.
Lord, please help me, you know.
Yep.
And I think sometimes pride keeps us from our realization or keeps us from realizing that we need him more than we think we do, you know.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh, I
good.
need him. He
Yeah.
knows I need him.
Oh, me too. Me too. So, and yeah, the whole bird thing is awesome. Like, and it reminds me of the verse that talks about how he cares and takes care of the sparrow. And the sparrow back in the day was like a common bird. It was like just a cheap common bird that was sold for pennies or whatever. And I don't, not pennies, but very cheap bird. But
Yeah.
God provided for all of those needs. And then it said, if the if he takes care of the sparrow, why would he not take care of you, who he values way more than that?
Right.
You know? And so I always remember when I see those birds that we're worth more to God than those birds, and yet he cares for them, you know.
Hmm.
So he's gonna take care of us. But yeah, so yeah, when we were in up north on our trip this past time, remember all those birds?
Yeah.
There were so many that
I
weren't. You couldn't even see them all in that video. There
I
were
wish I could have seen
so
that. That would have
many.
been
It was
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this tree on that property. Like I said, I took so many videos of it because it was just so amazing. But you could hear on my video all of these birds in this tree. There was like this big tree out in the middle of that property that was in the video, and
Yeah.
it was just they were all flying into it. That tree probably had like 1,000 birds in it. It was crazy.
That is
And then
cool though.
we honked the horn, and they all were flying away. But
You like
we're
doing that when you go to the beach or if you see
yeah,
flocks of
yeah.
birds, do you like running
Honk.
through
Yeah.
them? I do.
Well, I don't run through them anymore, but I'll make Aubrey do it. I'll be like, Aubrey, you go run. I just said
Hey,
Aubrey. I'll
hey,
make my
fit tip for the week. Run through
yes.
run through the birds.
Beep. I can't even talk. Fit
Run.
tip.
No,
Yeah,
just kidding.
yeah. I always make my youngest run through them. But it's fun. It's fun. Like so many simple things in life can bring you joy if you just stop focusing on all the
The
stress and the
negativity.
negative. You
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
So
everybody goes through the same stuff. That's what's really funny too.
yeah,
Like we all, but sometimes you can't tell.
yeah.
People don't know like
Right.
all the stuff that I've gone through unless I tell them.
Right. Yeah.
So, but
And
I
that's part
usually
of
don't like telling them because I'd rather just, let's leave that in the
yeah.
past.
But that's part of your testimony is
Yeah.
that yeah, you've been through a lot of crazy and bad things and here you are. You survived. Like God
Yeah.
got you through it and you
And I'm
can
still
smile.
smiling.
And it's a
Yeah.
new day, like every day. And that reminds me of another verse. I keep thinking of all these verses, sorry.
Yay. No,
Lamentation.
you're good. Don't
It's
apologize.
like Lamentations 3:22 and 23 or something where it says that God's mercies are new every day, every
Yeah.
morning.
Hmm.
Like every morning is a new day and God's mercies
Okay.
are new. So whatever happened yesterday, whatever was bad yesterday, leave it there
Hmm.
and embrace the new day, embrace a new start. You can always change. You can always improve. Things will always
Yes.
improve. And
What
it's
I say
okay.
about that, though, as a human, it's hard to leave our mistakes.
Yeah.
We get to where we feel bad,
Yeah.
for doing them, for being that way, for, you
Yeah.
know, that stuff. And then I mean, I get it, but still, like
Yeah.
what you just said, leave it.
Yeah.
You
Got
know,
like
God
whenever
doesn't want us dwelling on that. Like He's not, so why would we?
yeah,
But people have
whenever
a hard time like believing that. And
yes, when we have confessed it and God's forgiven us, there's no reason to hold on to it anymore.
yeah,
Of course, we have to make sure that
stop
we are,
doing it.
yeah, stop doing it, make sure we are asking for forgiveness. But once
Yeah.
you do that, it says that He no longer remembers it. And that's amazing, you
Hmm.
know. So
That
if
should
He
be
no longer
freeing in
remembers it,
itself. That should
yeah,
make people be at peace. And
exactly.
it does if you do it and if
Yeah.
you believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just let it go. Let that old self go and move forward. So,
Let it go. I wish I could sing. I can't even sing right now. It's so annoying.
yeah.
Let
Well,
it go.
let it
My
go.
voice is just not.
Oh,
Ugh.
that's funny.
Oh
Yeah. So,
goodness.
yeah, that's a good message though. Just don't let your emotions and your circumstances steal your joy. You
Exactly.
know,
I like that.
joy is a gift. And that's what we say when we laugh. Laughter is a gift.
Hmm.
Joy is a gift from the Lord to help us get through this crazy life. Like,
Hmm.
and we can have it no matter what we go through. We have to take it. We have
Yep.
to accept it. We've got to, like it's there. God's like, here's the joy. Come to me, get the joy, and he
Hmm.
he will trade in your worries, trade in your anxiety and your stress for joy. It's a
And it's so worth it.
much lighter burden to
Hmm.
carry. So, yeah. But yeah, that's good. That's a good reminder, that life is so short. Any kind of, headache or annoyance that we go through, even with our kids, like
It's temporary.
it's temporary.
Yep. Like the other day, Aaliyah, I don't know, just how she is. She's different from the boys, I'll tell you that. Like what affects her. She had a pencil that she got from the book fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was orange and it had white circles. This one pencil was her
Yeah.
favorite pencil. Well, she was going to take it to school with her.
Mm-hmm.
This actually happened last week. She was going to take it to school with her. We couldn't find this pencil anywhere. I
Oh
still
no.
don't even know where it is. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what she did with it.
Yeah.
She didn't want to go to school. Did I tell you about this?
No,
She
no.
did not want to go to school because
Oh.
we couldn't find this pencil.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, Aaliyah, it's just a pencil. But she was just so upset that
Uh-huh.
we couldn't find this pencil. And I'm like, I'll just buy you another pencil.
Mhm.
It's not a big deal. It's just a pencil. Well, she flipped out
Oh really?
on the way to school,
Oh.
started crying and screaming. And then I started screaming at her. I was just like, and then I finally was like, do you like it when mommy screams at you like this? And she started saying no. And I was like, well, I don't like it when you scream at me like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I explained to her that that's not how we act. We'll go home, we'll find it. Um, it's not the end of the world. It's
Yeah.
just a pencil, Aaliyah. We can't allow material things like that. Me explaining to a 6-year-old,
Oh
like,
yeah.
but it's hard to dumb things down sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I was just told her, like, we can't act that way. And she was like, can I stay home? No, you have to go to school. I'm
Oh.
sorry, but you have to go
Yeah.
to school. So I ended up pulling over on the side of the road and she was bawling, crying hysterically.
Oh
And then I
yeah.
just like hugged her That's all she needed, though, was that
Oh,
hug. It
God.
made it all better. It made me feel better too, because I was getting really frustrated. I
Yeah.
was like, Aaliyah, it's a pencil.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a pencil. Like, please. I mean, stop screaming and crying. We were at the school, by the
Mhm.
way,
Right.
pulled off on the side of the road. People were looking at us going around.
And she's screaming.
She's screaming and crying. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I think, to them, it's like their whole world has crashed. But to us, it's
really
like, it's just
weird.
a pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing what a hug will do to
So the hug made it all
totally
better.
change things for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
And that
That's good.
completely changed our world around. But still, like, it was really, I had, I was as patient as I could be,
Uh-huh.
you know? Do you ever get that? Like,
Yes.
I'm so patient for a very
Yeah.
long time, and then
Yeah.
finally I'm like, okay, enough is
Yes.
enough with the
Yes.
pencil. Like, stop. It's a pencil.
Yeah, I do. I get that way too. And I have come to realize, because Aubrey is the same way, that most of the time it's because she's tired.
Mhm.
She just needs a little love.
Yep.
It's like I will hug her and just snuggle with her for a minute or two, and then she's fine. Like things are,
That's how
it's
it
like
is.
nothing has been wrong and everything's just completely fine.
But
So,
like, you know what, annoying about that is I don't want her to get the wrong impression. I don't want her to think it's okay to act that way.
of course,
Do
yeah,
you
and
know what I
you
mean?
should definitely tell her.
So it
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
parenting is hard,
It
especially
is.
when all your kids are different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, the boys were they were easier. They
Yeah.
really were. They weren't, even though Alex was wild, a very wild child, very just wild energy wise,
Yeah.
not with his mouth. You know what I mean? Aaliyah's wild energy wise and with her mouth.
Yeah. Double trouble.
Oh goodness, she's just all over the place. But she's
Yeah.
also like really, we have so many good moments though and lots of laughter. So it
Good.
always makes it worth it, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
frustrating moments.
Hmm. Yeah. Sometimes, they just need a hug. Sometimes we just need a hug,
Yep.
just give them time. Do you hear my stomach growling?
No.
It's so loud.
Are you hungry?
Yeah, I don't normally eat breakfast because
Uh-oh.
it's just hard for me to eat breakfast.
Did you
Now,
know breakfast being the most important, part of your day? It's a myth.
I feel like it is.
You
But
know,
I never
cereal
went.
companies came up with that
Yeah,
so
we
you
watched
could
that
buy
on
their
YouTube.
product.
Yep,
Isn't
we
that
did. We
interesting?
saw that documentary, yeah,
Hmm.
on YouTube not too long ago. I was
I've
like,
never been much of a breakfast eater. I usually eat around now, like
mhm. Yeah, I like
11,
breakfast foods.
12.
I love like pancakes and bacon. Like that's
Yeah.
very delicious. But
Yes.
it's hard for me to eat early.
I don't eat early.
I'll drink a cup of coffee and then eat around lunchtime if it's just me without the kids. But if I have them, then like normally I'll eat if they're eating.
Hmm.
But
No, I know. I get it.
so yeah.
I think that's why it's hard for me to gain weight.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
because I don't like forcing myself to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Same.
lot of bodybuilding, it's like a part of it.
Protein, right?
Yeah, well, protein, well, depending. I eat everything right now. I do try and stay away from super sugary stuff, but
Right.
um, I've been eating everything.
Yeah.
You know those pinwheels?
Uh-huh.
The
Yeah.
little, you
I
know what
don't like
those are?
those.
I love them. They come in packs of 6. I eat all 6 of them in one sitting.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't like those. I've never liked
I
them.
do. They're like pecan something.
Yeah, I like
The
the pecans
pecan.
in it. They taste bitter to me. I don't know why.
They're so good.
They might have like too much cinnamon or something. Something about it is just kind of gross
Oh, and
to
I
me.
love cinnamon.
Yeah.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. I love cinnamon. Give me some of them cinnamon. I can't say it. Give me some of them cinnamon. I'm special.
Cinnamon.
Give me some of them. I can't even say it now.
You said it perfect
I
before.
did, and now I can't say it. Anyway,
That's funny. Oh, goodness.
Oh, that's great. Anyway, but yeah,
This turned out to be completely different than what we had
yeah,
planned.
we were planning on talking about our kids, but here we
I
are.
just wasn't feeling it. And then
Yeah,
this morning,
okay.
and it's funny because I was thinking about that. I was like,
Yeah.
man, yeah, we need
Are
to
you guys?
talk about that just because people are so angry.
Oh yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
going to keep getting worse, especially around this time of year, it seems, because everybody's stressing about Christmas presents, which is so backwards. Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. Well, to kind of bring kids into the mix, like I don't watch the news anymore because there's so many stories of parents getting so angry at their kids that they snap and
Yeah,
they hurt them, they kill them, etc. And you cannot let yourself get to that point where
just
one
walk
small
away.
thing will cause you to react in such a way that it would cause so much damage. And I think a lot of times our anger does damage our kids without even realizing it, you know. But again, you know, hug them, give them hugs, tell them you're sorry if you do snap, and don't let that stuff fester, man. Don't let it
Hmm.
simmer under the
Yeah,
surface, right?
exactly.
Get rid of that.
I
Get
always, do you apologize to your
Yeah,
kids after you?
of
I
course.
do too.
Do snap. And we're
Luckily,
human, you know, we're gonna have those moments where we do snap, but don't let that be a habit, you
yeah,
know. So
like I said before, like mine's always hormonal.
hmm
Always.
yeah.
Like I'm
Same for
normally
me.
never like upset, but
It
at
used
this
to be
point.
like that for me, but not anymore.
I want one for real. But
Oh
the
yeah.
boys are getting older and like I'm starting to explain stuff to them now. They know that I have periods and all that, but um and they know that I get frustrated and I'm just like
Good.
letting them know all women are like this. So you're going to have to be patient,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Don't freak out. Don't be upset. Like it's kind of like a learning thing,
Yeah,
like
good. Yeah,
a
teaching
teaching thing
moment.
after I've like, yelled at them.
I'm just trying to teach you. No, this is what it's gonna be
I'm just
like.
preparing you for the future.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Luckily, it's fun to laugh about. So,
It's
and they're very
good.
understanding.
Good. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. You know, and it's good to let them see that we're not perfect,
mhm.
you know, and we can't expect perfection out of them either. So like if they are having an off day,
I can always tell.
like we need to make sure that they're treating us respectfully, of course, but at the same time, you know, they have feelings too, just like us. And you know, like I said, we can't let our anger like crush them because that's a lot of what we experience growing up is just being crushed constantly. So
Yeah.
and it like you said, whenever you get to that point, and sometimes we will, it's important to apologize and wipe the slate clean and don't let that
That's
those
one thing
feelings.
too. We never got apologized to.
Yeah,
Do you
I know.
remember?
I think I got apologized to like once, but it was after a pretty
And it was
traumatic event.
fake.
Yeah, and it was fake.
Okay.
I
So,
think I
but
was rolling my eyes as she was saying it.
oh yeah, I did that a
She's
lot.
like, she's like, I'm sorry or whatever, and I'm just
Yeah.
like no.
I used to
Okay,
get slapped in the face for rolling my eyes. It was
I
so
do remember
annoying.
that. That's why I did it when she wasn't looking. No.
I couldn't help myself. I was just like,
Yeah, you did. You definitely was more you were more expressive than I was. I was able to kind of keep it in a little better. But
oh, she was
yeah.
just so annoying though. Oh, I don't ever want to be that way. So,
Yeah.
anywho, but
Yeah.
yes, I apologize to my children if I ever
We have those moments, all of
to
us.
that point.
We're humans, you know.
Uh,
It's about what you do after, you know. Don't let it rest on that moment because they're
exactly.
going to remember it for the rest
My
of their
kids
life.
go to bed knowing that I love them. They go to school knowing that I love them, you know? Like
Good.
I would never want to put
Mhm.
my kid through that feeling of just being hated.
Yeah.
It's annoying
Yeah, it
just
doesn't feel good.
thinking about it. 'Cause like that's all that you think about and it messes with your day
Yeah. I know. I
as
know.
a
We don't
kid.
realize it. Because then it's like, oh, I got to go home to that, you know. Make
Yeah.
sure you resolve it before they get home, before you drop them off. That way, because they're going to face a lot of stress at school too, right?
Mhm.
And the last thing they want to do is come home to somebody who's mad at them, or, and as Christians, we are called to forgive and love and let go, quickly of our differences. And that includes with our kids too,
Yeah.
that we need to wipe the slate clean before that way. I mean, and give them, discipline when they need it. It's not about disciplining when it's necessary. That's a necessary thing to discipline your
I
kids.
think I have issues with that too. Like I discipline them, but sometimes I'm not going to say it.
Reservation.
I hold back
Mhm.
sometimes just because of like what we went through. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
That's good.
no,
Good,
I'm good.
good topic. Yeah. So if you guys out there are listening and you're struggling with anger or bitterness or resentment, just remember that is a tactic that Satan is using to keep you trapped,
Yeah.
and we can have freedom as Christians in God. Like he can free us from those feelings, we just have to take them to him and ask him to help us. Like, humble yourself before him and he will lift you up.
And have faith that he'll do it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I feel like I need to say that every podcast we do is have faith. Yeah, just have that faith, that childlike faith. You know what? People believed in Santa for so long. I don't
Yeah.
understand like why you can't believe in God.
Yeah. And Jesus. Exactly.
And him doing things for us.
Yeah.
Taking
Exactly.
away that all that anger and bitterness and giving us peace. Like
Yep.
he
Yep.
can do it. He
Let
will do it.
let him empty your cup and
Yeah.
fill it with joy and peace
Yeah.
and love and gentleness. He can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to ask for it, So, and you got to, that I keep thinking of verses. Sorry, they just keep popping into my head. But
You're so
one of the things
funny.
that Jesus said, was that you don't have because you don't ask. Like a lot of things in our lives that we need or want or desire, good things that are his will for us, we don't have them because we're not asking for them. When he says, seek and you will find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. Like if we want these things, we want to be peaceful and have joy, ask God for it.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have it. We're not asking him for it. So
Mm.
ask him for it and see. I'd love to hear if anybody is actually listening to this and they try it just to see what happens. I know for
Yeah.
me, anytime, I'm arguing with my husband or there are issues, all I have to do is ask God, Lord, please just bring peace to the situation or help me feel at peace or help me through this. And he does. It's like a switch is flipped in my brain. Even though he may not change anything with the other people around me, he's changing me in the way that I can respond to it and the way that I feel about it. And like I said, if all of us were doing that, it would be a better world, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And
So,
I'm like really big on changing your mindset.
yeah, renewing your mind.
Like, and if people have issues with, trying to find out how, ask God to help you.
Yes.
Like what you're saying, like God can help you change your mindset. Like it can be done.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy how it happens. It's cool though, but
Yeah.
you gotta do it.
Yeah. Yes. Don't feel like also like, oh, this isn't something God wants to worry about. This is something I have to just deal with on my own. Like
No.
this is just me. It's just my flaw. Like God
Yeah, a lot of people go
made me
wrong.
this way, right? But no, he cares about every little detail, every detail, So and if it's causing you pain or someone else pain around you, that's not really something he wants you to keep. So you want to make sure that you let him deal with that. Nothing is too big or too small for him to handle in your life. So
Like the
take it to
eggshell.
him. Yes.
Remember the eggshell in your
Yes.
cupcakes? Or was it a
Yes.
cake?
It was a cake. Yeah,
Okay.
I used to make cakes for people. Like they would buy them from me, fondant cakes. And I'm sure if any of you guys have ever made a cake and you've dropped the eggshell in the batter on accident, it sinks and it's gone, right? That's normally my experience with that. And so anytime I'd be making a cake for somebody and that would happen, I'm like, no, like, and I'll be praying, Lord, please help this thing to come to the top. Help this little shell come to the top. And so I'll mix it up. And then sure enough, that thing comes up to the top every time I prayed. And that happened at least 3 or 4 times. I'm not even exaggerating. But if it was for my family, like I was like, whatever. No.
Mommy, why is it crunchy?
I didn't pray that time. No. No, but for real though, it happens. It happens. Like little silly things.
Did
Or
you
like if
know,
you
like, not to cut you off,
yeah.
but if you take an eggshell and scoop the little eggshell out, it'll like cling to it. So if you take like half, you know how you
Oh
crack the
yeah,
egg,
yeah,
some of
yeah.
the eggshell goes in,
Uh-huh.
take half of the eggshell, scoop the eggshell out. It like
Uh-huh.
sticks to the egg.
Uh,
It stick like eggshells stick to eggshells.
I got you. Yeah,
Does that
that's
make
cool.
sense?
Yeah,
And it works. I've been
sometimes
doing it.
I would have to like put my finger in it,
And
push it up against the
then
side,
go
and
all the way up.
pull it up. Yeah,
I
that's what I
used to
normally
do
do.
that, but I started doing the shell thing because one of the guys that I follow,
Mhm.
like he's always doing eggs. He was
Okay.
like, and he even said that, take
Life
the
hack.
eggshell, eggshells stick to eggshells. And I was like,
Cool. Cool. That's a
makes
good
sense.
good
And it's
tip.
worked. Yes, it's a
Good
very
tip.
good
I
tip.
like that. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to
Yeah.
try that. Anyway,
The
I
tip
was
of the week, eggshells stick to eggshells.
cooking tip of the day. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cooking tips. Ooh.
Sounds good. I'm getting hungry.
Mhm.
But I was gonna say, if you ever lose your keys or you've lost something or just these little details go wrong in your life, instead of getting all worked up about it and frustrated, a good practice is just pray first.
Mhm.
Pray first before you start looking. Lord, please help me to find these keys, or help me to do this or that or whatever. And I have found for myself, I get less frustrated and I find it quicker,
Yep.
instead of like letting that be your last resort. Like you're like puffing and puffing through the house. Where is this? Blah, 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 blah. Right. And then you're like, okay, Lord, where is it? And then just pray first. I don't know if you've ever had that experience.
I do all the time.
It's a good way to kind of avoid the drama and frustration. Just pray first. Go to God first. I was gonna say what?
The way you did that. You're like, I can't even do it.
I don't even know what I did, but no. I was gonna say, do you like when your kids lose stuff or they can't find it? Do you just know exactly where it's at when it happens? I have that too. Isn't that crazy? Like it always happens. I call it like my mom sense. Like they'll be like, I can't find my shoe, and I'll be like, I don't even have to go in there. I'd be like, look under that shirt or go look under your pile of clothes, right?
That's
And
what
it's
I'll say.
there.
It's beside your bed on the left side, beside the wall, or in between the
Yeah.
wall and yeah.
Without even going in there, right?
Because I
And
remember seeing it there.
yeah, like a long
Mhm.
time ago. And it's been that long since they've cleaned their room. No. but
Mine don't ever.
but I
I'm
always
usually the
get
one that cleans.
yeah, I will get to the point where I'm just sick of it and I'll go organize it again just for it to get destroyed. But anyway,
I do
don't,
that too.
my kids just, they don't have my neat freak gene. Aubrey,
Yet.
my youngest,
I
sorry,
think they will when they become adults.
yeah, my youngest has signs of it, but the oldest is like an artist. She's like, whatever, stuff everywhere. But yeah, they'll just be telling me, they've lost something, and like something in my brain just says, there it is, it's right there, like,
Yep.
and it will be like 9 times out of 10. So it's crazy. So I think God
I
gives
have
us
the
that.
same brain.
Yeah.
Yep. We're
Same
just
with
good
my kids.
moms with good mom jokes. No.
Yeah. Yes. Our jokes are the best. So
Even though we got them off the internet.
yeah, but we're the ones that delivered it correctly. So
Yeah.
it's all in the delivery.
I'm horrible with delivering jokes.
I know.
So I
Because
start
I laugh.
laughing.
Same. Same. I think that's what makes it funnier though. Because we're laughing while we're trying to say it. But anyway. Cool.
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 Cool beans.
Cool beans. Cool beans. Oh my gosh. I don't know. And I don't know why I'm doing this.
Why do you keep going up close?
Hey
Cool
guys,
beans.
what are you doing today? I need to eat. Can you make me some tacos?
For real though. go.
Sounds good. Yeah,
I'll
it's just
send them to you.
drive 15 hours and bring them.
Okay. They're so worth it.
Yes, please. I'll do it. Yeah.
And I
Anyway,
used to not eat chicken tacos. Can you believe that?
I love chicken. That's
I
all we
used to think
eat.
that's so weird. Chickens
Uh-huh.
for tacos. Ugh.
Beef.
Yeah.
Duh. Ground
No.
beef. Speaking of ground beef, what do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef.
What do you call a cow with a twitch?
Beef jerky, right? Yes.
That's one of my favorite jokes.
Yeah, it's been freezing here. Well, it was like 14 degrees yesterday morning,
Hmm.
and we're driving by all these cow fields, and there's cows out there. And I'm just like, these poor cows are like freezing out there. And I was like, they're frozen beef. So anyway, dumb. That's a dad joke. That's not a mom joke. That's a dad joke.
What is it? What do you call deer? What do you call a deer with no eyes?
Yeah, no idea.
And what do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs?
Still no idea.
Exactly.
No idea. I
What
ain't
do you
got no idea.
what do you call a man with no legs? No arms and legs?
What?
Matt.
Matto. I was thinking Bob, Stu, Russell.
No.
What is it?
What do you call a man with no arms and legs in the water?
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah. And then, no arms and no legs in a pile of leaves is Russell. And then no arms and no legs in a pot of food is Stu. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Or what do you call a man with no arms and no legs in a comic strip? Drew.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know why I thought of that. That's stupid.
I haven't heard that one.
I just made it up. It's so dumb.
They all are. Oh goodness. What do you call a
man.
fish with no eyes?
That's hilarious. Anyway. Grains. Like, this is going to be a separate video. No one's going to know what we're talking about. All right, guys. Y'all don't know what we're talking about. Go watch our little mom joke video that we did. Or listen, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you prefer. So, anyway. Well, I think that's a good topic to wrap up on. Just if you're having anger issues,
find some jokes to laugh
go
about.
laugh at our mom jokes and you'll feel better. No. No, just give it to the Lord, That's just a great lesson for everything you face in life, whether it's anger or anything. Just go to the Lord with it, and he can help you through it. He's promised us that. So
yes.
But until next time, we appreciate you guys listening and hanging with us. We're still figuring this thing out, and we're enjoying it.
I need a new computer.
Yes. So if any of you guys have an extra computer
with a good camera that doesn't make me look like I have rotten teeth.
Yes, please hit us up.
Did I do a close up?
It just looks like coffee greens.
They're rotten.
How do mine look? Right,
Perfect.
Let me move my.
They're not yellow. Perfect. Mine look rotten.
It just looks like spaces is all, and coffee greens. See, when you get up close, it doesn't look like that. It's just when you back up. Yeah, like that. All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Sister vibes.
Sister vibes. So we don't know what we're going to talk about next time, but you guys just stay tuned, and regardless, it'll be funny and good and whatevs. So we know God will use it. So
yes.
Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you or hear from you. No, we won't hear from you. You will hear from us next time, maybe.
We want to hear from you.
Yes, let us know. What? Just
give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, like and subscribe, and watch it. And
I don't know what the kids say these days.
Yeah, the kids these days, so
like
old.
and subscribe.
and
Swipe
then
up.
push the little bell or something, and yeah. Yeah, thanks for watching. So.
Bye.
Cinnamon M&Ms.